This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
It's Turtleneck City, huh?
I'm not in the city.
No, neither he.
Yes.
Just you and me. Way to go.
That's not a turtleneck.
Yeah, kind of. And then also look at the.
That's a mock neck.
Oh. Are you mocking me? Okay, here we go. All right, let's get to this. Who do you want to see run for president for Republicans in 2024? Well, former UN ambassador and governor of South Carolina, Nikki Haley, is kicking off her campaign for the White House today. She posted a video announcing her bid. Let's take a look at the bid.
Some people look at America and see vulnerability. The socialist left sees an opportunity to rewrite history. China and Russia are on the march. They all think we can be bullied, kicked around. You should know this about me. I don't put up with bullies. And when you kick back, it hurts them more if you're wearing heels. I'm Nikki Haley, and I'm running for president.
Oh, so far.
I would argue steel toe boot, but heel would be second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So far, thanks for that clarification. So far, Nikki is the only Republican to officially challenge former President Donald Trump, who used to be her boss. Another likely contender is Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. The Republican field could end up getting really, really crowded with people like Senator Tim Scott, former VP Mike Pence, Mike Pompeo, or even Liz Cheney, all potentially running for the job. But you can also now count out Senator Ted Cruz. He has confirmed he will not be running for president, just running to Cancun. I'm just kidding.
You beat me to it.
Oh, I tried. DBL Nation, we always want to hear from you. Who do you want to get to see on the Republican nomination for president? Nikki Haley, Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, or someone else? This is your time to have your voice heard. So go to dblvote.com to weigh in. As we talk, you can be voting. Does anyone have a strong opinion of the Nikki Haley video?
What? I honestly, I kind of thought she was better than that. I really, like, if I had never seen that and we were just saying she put her name in, like, as a potential candidate for president, I would have said, I can see that. And now I feel like
You can't see that.
After watching that, I'm like, it's giving Sarah Palin. Why is this like the go-to? Like, it hurts more when you do it in heels. Like, it just. I honestly thought she was better than that. I'm really quite shocked that that was the announcement.
I was a little surprised at that ending too. Al, what do you think?
I mean, I think that she is.
It is very Sarah Palin, isn't it?
She's at a fork in the road, and I think this is what's going to happen to a lot of Republican candidates. You have to get the base by being aggressive. You go after socialist, liberal, left, disfiguring our kids. You have to get them. But if you go at them and you try and get them, you're going to lose the larger amount of people that we saw from the midterms don't care about that. So she's in this weird place where she cannot alienate Trump too hard, but also not look weak. One, because she doesn't want to be looked at as a meek woman that's scared to approach him, but also she has to look strong, but not too strong to anger Trump's base, which is solid and has not gone anywhere in almost 8 years. And I think she has to present to the rest of the country, I am a progressive Republican, in which she is. Nikki Haley knows her stuff, and she will embarrass somebody during a debate.
Do you think that video said all that?
I felt like she was trying to be aggressive and just say, I'm trying to win this. I think you have to go for it. She cannot go, I hope everybody just has a good time out here. She's got to be like, I'm the best candidate. I'm not like the left. And she's going to have to eventually start slow walking attacks towards DeSantis and Trump, which is also, ironically, the base she needs to have to run in the main. So I don't know what she's going to do.
No, I agree with all of your points. I mean, clearly, I'm a part of that socialist left,
Yes.
and I said I thought she was better than that. I'm disappointed in
The
this
messaging.
announcement, and
Right.
yeah, I am very much, because I don't see where the strength lies. Does the strength lie in the ability to kick in heels? Because honestly, that's just dumb. We all know that heels can break really
very easily. They're
and
fragile.
I'm not kicking anybody in my lubes.
Exactly. You don't want to mess the lubes up. Mr. Jeffrey, what'd you feel? Did you feel anything?
It kind of felt like a Saturday Night Live spoof a little bit, right? To me, I'm over that. And Al, you make a great point. You've said this for a long time. You got to appeal to your base, right?
Yes.
And unfortunately,
that
is appealing
solid.
to that base,
Not
right?
after
on
the
both
midterms.
sides. You have to do it on both sides. On the other side, you have to, show pictures of Trump, whatever. I'm over that. I'm over it. I want a strong, independent candidate, right? I don't think he or she will win, but that's where I lie, right? And I don't know where the American public lies, but I want to see their points of view. None of this mocking the other side, none of these cheap tricks, none of these supporting the far left or the far right. Just like, hey, America's in a little crisis here. We need some unity. This is what I'm going to push forward and see what they have to say. That's who I'm looking for, a strong, independent. I know it's definitely not the popular vote. It's never going to even come close to winning because it's set up for Democrat or Republican. But I'm looking for that strong American voice.
And I think the Republican Party has really hamstrung a lot of its candidates going forward because now that Roe v. Wade has been overturned in a lot of states, how do you get young women to come on your side? Because now you are a candidate, especially a candidate running she's run for everything as a female. Now she's a person that has to try and pull that base in, but also not lose the base that's completely anti-abortion. So how do you do that?
Yeah,
how
she's
do you
pro-life.
Right.
Yes,
but
I was just
so
gonna
then how do you get when you run in the general election, how do you get young women? How do you get the Kelly Schuberts to come out and vote for you when there's no way that you're going to move off of that position? If you try to move off that position, you're done.
That's the party affiliation, right? How do you say, listen, abortion is insane to me, right? I'm married, say I'm the president or I'm running. And also, so is having an open border and letting people just run through here. So you're supporting both sides essentially, but you're not allowed to do that if you're running for president. You have to say, hey, shut down the border or shut down abortion. It's like one or the other. Why can't you have both?
Well, that's my question. I actually disagree with you. I think Trump hasn't been rock solid. The midterms showed clearly the voters were not coming out for him or his candidates very clearly.
I'm talking about that 25 to 30% that hasn't moved. I'm not talking about 51% enough to push you over.
I agree, but I think that's even lessened.
Trump's embarrassing candidates did very well. Don't get it confused. Dr. Oz and Herschel Walker were so embarrassing that they wouldn't have been in a movie script. They were unbelievable. I can't believe they're real people. And there was a runoff for Herschel Walker. So clearly Trump's name still, you got to put some spec on his name.
I can't. I don't know. I disagree. If they would have won.
You don't think Herschel Walker did well for a person
very well?
Well, no, but I don't know if it had to do with Trump. I think it had to do with the fact that he was a black man willing to do the bidding of people who didn't look like him in order to disparage the people who do. That is completely different. We had add the Trump thing to it. I understand what you're saying, but that's how I feel.
I think Trump
between him and Tim Scott then. Tim Scott's a black man, but Herschel Walker is a famous black man backed by Trump.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll also see what happens with Tim Scott.
Tim Scott's going to get nothing.
Well,
that was my question. Does anyone have someone they want to see? Do you think who do you think you want to see on the GOP ticket? Is there anyone calling out to you?
Who do you think, Tori? This is your arena.
I actually really, and I'll go to the polls really quickly. I don't dislike Nikki Haley. She's very pro-life. She's against January 6th, even though she kind of campaigned with some of those candidates. But what she did once was, she's Indian American, she's a female, and she once removed this Confederate flag from the South Carolina courthouse during a racially profiled 2015 shooting. And she said, my father's been racially profiled, and I don't want that hurt seen on someone else. That's someone reaching across an aisle for a big moment.
That ad wasn't.
That wasn't, I agree.
With one act, because it resonated with your father, what about resonating with the daughters of America who would love to be able to have full autonomy over their bodies as a woman?
I agree, but it's the closest.
I vote with the audience. 72% someone else.
Yeah. Okay, fair. Someone else.
Maybe Liz Cheney.
Oh. I'm in love with her. Coming up on DBL. Ginger Duggar Volo returns to DBL, but this time with her husband, Jeremy. He's sharing what it's been like watching Ginger heal from her past, and J-Lo and Ben celebrate Valentine's Day with these tattoos. We're talking all about it coming up next. Our viewers are talking about DBL. Yes!
I like that.
Leaves me speechless. I'm like blushing. Thank you, thank you.
That's emotional.
Do I want to sit there and watch them? Yes, I do. Are we on?
I
oh,
think
God.
that
Someone said in love with
you know, with these candidates, I just really worry that this is the problem why we won't get air quotes normal people to run. Because if you wanted somebody like Jeff or Erica, that kind of type to run, they're not going to start with an ad campaign like Nikki Haley did. But I think her.
But isn't there space, Al, for that? What Jeff's saying?
So.
You don't think there's a vacuum right now for a totally moderate, centrist Republican, Midwest, blue collar, like Liz Cheney or Tim, like
Liz Cheney
Tim
was
Ryan
voted out in Wyoming.
Yeah, I know, but it's not Wyoming voting; it's the whole country.
But she has to
Wyoming
get that base.
Is there no space for that right
hates
now?
her.
It's the smallest state in the entire country.
She led
There's
the
no one in
charge on
Wyoming.
January 6th. There's no the base hates
I'm
her.
just saying she represents the moderate Republican.
But she also represents the
So
anti-Trump.
does Mitt Romney.
Yeah, and
Now,
they
Mitt
make-
Romney's come out as this guy that has like a lot to say about who should be like the George Santos. He said to the press clearly he should not be in Congress. Today he came out and said, here's why Trump shouldn't win. So Mitt Romney's become their like.
But they had a chance to vote for Mitt Romney and they did not.
Well, he got taken under with that audio recording, remember, of the 1%?
Well, that would be nothing now.
Yeah, well, I think he can't run.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
can
I'm
you
just
imagine?
saying,
I think his time has passed.
Yeah, I just think there
Women
has to
in
be.
binders, remember that?
Yeah, women in binder. There's
Yes.
got to be a centrist. There's a vacuum right now
There's
for what
no
Jeff is
center.
saying.
These people are screaming at librarians about drag brunch, Tori. There's
That
no
is,
center.
but that's an extreme. There's a lot of people in the middle out. There's a lot.
We're
But not
already-
enough.
No, you
I
don't think?
so. I think the base is bigger than the middle.
Not the
yes.
midterms convince you.
30 seconds, 30. Okay, good.
Welcome back. Love was in the air on Valentine's Day in Hollywood. Jen and Ben, thank you, proclaimed their love by getting matching tattoos on Instagram. Jen revealed an infinity sign with an arrow through it and their names. Ben is on his, it's just their initials, I think. Ben is on his arm. The tat shows 2 arrows crossed with the initials J and B.
I wanted to make fun of that. I think that looks cool.
They would be a great ad for Bartles and James come Christmas time.
Ooh.
What's Bartles? Oh!
You know, you ever see, they have the best ad ever. It's like on a billboard, it said Ingle L's.
Yes.
What's the holidays without J and B?
Oh,
they could be the
yeah.
spokespeople for.
See, I was thinking J&B Scotch. If you got old
That is J&B
uncles,
Scotch.
No, the Bartles and James was the wine coolers. Remember the two
No,
older
oh,
guys?
man, I screwed it up.
Yeah.
I screwed it up. The
Scotch,
Scotch.
yes.
Whatever. They could be. They don't need it. Forget it.
I still want Ben to do Aflac. I so want that. Then Emily Ratajkowski and comedian Eric Andre went Instagram official hard launch by posing nearly nude. You can see her in the mirror there in the reflection, but we had to cover most of her up. I like these two.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see one of your great friends in comedy with Emily Ratajkowski. I'm super happy for him. Sips his coffee. Oh my God! Well done, Eric. Oh my God!
I think we're.
I knew him when he was doing open mics. So this is the biggest story of the
Mazel tov.
year for me.
I don't know. I'm Al. Hey, you better put it out there.
Hey, I'm
put it
good.
out there.
I don't want.
Comedians are doing their thing. Put it out there.
There you go.
This is a manifestation.
What
season.
exactly do you want him to put out there?
I want him to put out the woman of his dreams.
Put it out there.
I was
Al.
just joking.
Put it out there. All right. Chris Evans also.
They were
showed
naked. I said, put it out there. Nobody got it. Now you do.
Chris Evans also showed off his girlfriend on Insta with a rapid-fire slideshow of them, and Cardi B and Offset enjoyed some fast food while promoting their McDonald's meal, which includes a cheeseburger or quarter pounder with large fries and an apple pie. Property brother Jonathan Scott posted a video proclaiming the 10 things he loved about his girlfriend Zooey Deschanel. Take a look.
I love that we talk things through, even when we don't see eye to eye. And I love it when you make me laugh, and it happens quite a lot. I love every second when you're around and the fact that I can't get enough. But mostly, I love the way I love you and the way you make me feel loved in return.
Dude, that was not good. That was all cringe. That was awful. Him reading like a 3rd grade book report. Bad. Bad.
I do want to be clear that if this was like almost anyone in any other profession, that could be cute.
Right, but he's
But bruh, you on TV all the time.
Yeah, what was that?
Like, we need this off the cuff.
That was terrible.
I think the reaction we're hearing is just because that's not how human beings talk, and that's not how human beings convey emotion, and it comes off fake and it comes off phony. I don't know if anybody would like to hear their significant other read like that. I feel like it
I love you, and the way I love you,
right.
and the way we love each other.
It's just a very strange way, and it seems purposely public, which is kind of the reason that I have issues with Valentine's Day. Public of Jeff, save me. Like, I don't.
I'll
like
save
that.
you one word. Ew.
Yeah. Okay. I don't like that. It
ew.
should be. I think your love is anything personal anymore.
I feel like when you do things like that, it's a sign that things aren't going to last. I'm just saying. I'm not being a hater. I'm just saying when you. I got you 10 million flowers. Well, have some for your. Well, the death of you, not the death of you, the death of your relationship.
The relationship, yes. I'm with Schroeder on this one. Coming up.
Was that a groan behind me?
Coming up on DBL, our interview with Ginger Duggar-Volo and her husband, Jeremy. They're sharing their journey of healing together. Stay tuned.
We know that paramedics are vital in providing life-saving treatment during an emergency. But do you know how the profession originated in the U.S.? One Twitter user claims the origins can be traced back to a group of black pioneers from Pittsburgh. But is that true? Let's verify. Our sources are University of Pittsburgh, the City of Pittsburgh, Senator John Hines History Center, Kevin Hazard, a former paramedic and author of American Sirens, and the CDC. Paramedics first became a profession in the 1960s. Before then, police officers, firefighters, and even funeral directors responded to emergencies, but offered little more than basic first aid. In 1966, a National Academy of Sciences report documented the lack of proper emergency medical care. One area that exemplified that lack of care was the Hill District, the largest black neighborhood in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. A former ambulance driver, Phil Hallen, teamed up with Dr. Peter Safar, an anesthesiologist known as the father of CPR, to create a private ambulance service to aid the residents in that neighborhood. 20 black men were recruited from the Hill District to start the first paramedic team, which would come to be known as the Freedom House Ambulance Service. At a city council meeting, Safar presented data showing that of the over 4,000 patients Freedom House paramedics transported in their first year, less than 2% died before arriving at the hospital, a vast improvement over previous methods. Kevin Hazard, a former paramedic who also wrote a book about the ambulance service, told Verified that other medical programs took notice and replicated the service, creating the paramedic services that we see today. So we can verify, yes, the first paramedics in the U.S. were black men. The CDC estimates there are now more than 200,000 professional emergency medical technicians and paramedics in the U.S. With your Verify, I'm Shannon Curtis.
Welcome back. Last week, Ginger Duggar-Volo told us about the effects of growing up under the religious teachings of the Institute in Basic Life Principles. Now, in her new book, she's opening up about stepping away from the cult-like teachings, and it would not have been possible without her husband, Jeremy. Earlier, we spoke to the couple about their journey together, and our guest co-host, Carson Kressley, joined the conversation. We got Ginger and Jeremy joining us live. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, we're glad to be here.
Welcome back, Ginger.
Just to get a loop our audience in, after seeing Ginger's interview with us, you wanted to do an interview together. Why did you want to come on our show today?
Well, I'm so grateful for you guys and how you interviewed my wife and were so sensitive. And I felt like you guys really understood her story and where she was coming from. And so, yeah, just really grateful for that opportunity to share this journey.
Well, Jeremy, let's ask you, because you were not a follower of Bill Gothard's principle, but you met Ginger in 2015 at an IBLP conference. So why were you there, and what was your initial reaction to the conference and Bill Gothard?
Ginger's sister, Jessa, was married to Ben, and we just became buddies, and I went up there to hang out with him. I had no idea really what I was stepping into. It was kind of an interesting environment. And I just thought, oh, wow, this is pretty fascinating. You know, everybody dresses the same, talks the same, seems to live the same lifestyle at every point. And so I was kind of naive to the teachings that undergirded that lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. And Ginger, your parents were kind of hesitant to approve a relationship with Jeremy. Can you explain why?
Yeah, it was interesting, I think, because he had some differences. And so I just assumed I would marry someone inside that circle. And so they had him watch 60 plus hours of these teachings before we moved forward in our relationship. And it was actually helpful because that's what was the key that kind of like unlocked everything for me, was seeing how it wasn't based in the Bible, even though this guy promised it was.
Wow. Okay, so to that point, Jeremy, when did you feel like it was the right time to question Ginger and Gothard's teaching? What was that first conversation like with Ginger?
The first conversation I had with Ginger about it, I think she asked me what I thought of the teachings. And I basically said just that. I said, yeah, he's got some interesting kind of philosophical points about, the rise of humanism or whatever, but he doesn't really teach the Bible. And I remember her response to that sentence, because for her, it was like, he's the greatest Bible teacher ever. And I was listening saying, whatever he's saying isn't from the Bible. So maybe he's got an interesting point here or there, but it's definitely not the Bible.
So Ginger, in your book, you talk about how Bill Gothard taught women to be agreeable wives. Now, how did this affect the first few years of your marriage?
Yeah, it was interesting. I just thought that in order to be a good wife, I just needed to agree to everything. So I wouldn't think too much for myself with critical thinking or even have opinions. But that was something that Jeremy was like, oh, I want you to have your own opinion. Think through it. Say if I've lost a game that we're playing, just say you did a terrible job. It's okay. Enjoy life and let's have fun together. But I was just so uptight, afraid to say anything because that was what I was taught.
Wow. Jeremy, I have the hard question. You're all going through a really tough time here. Not that the other questions weren't hard, but Josh's conviction on child pornography charges. You've posted a couple of statements about Josh on your Instagram. Why'd you feel the need to do so?
Yeah, I think when you're in the public spotlight and you've chosen to be in the public spotlight because of your stance on truth, or you want to share the truth of Jesus with the world, that's wonderful. But you also need to speak and have a responsibility to speak when things don't go so well. So when those allegations came forth and then later proved true, Ginger and I both felt that we, as members of that family, have the first responsibility to stand up, speak, and give a perspective on how Christ feels from his word on those issues. Because we honestly don't have the option to remain silent when we want to be silent, when we've chosen to speak on so many other things.
I appreciate that answer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Jeremy, what's been the best part in helping and watching Ginger on her journey?
I've just wanted to be by her side and strengthen her, support her, serve her however I can. And it's been incredible to see her growing into the woman that God has made her.
And Ginger, you have 2 daughters. Do you plan on telling them about your upbringing and your journey?
Yes, I definitely plan to talk with my girls about all of that. It's interesting. They're just 4 and 2 right now, so they're still very young, but I know in years to come we'll have a lot of good conversations about all of this.
I appreciate your transparency,
So
both of you.
refreshing.
It's so refreshing. Ginger and Jeremy, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. To our viewers, you can get Ginger's book, Becoming Free Indeed, My Story of Disentangling Faith from Fear, wherever books are sold. We appreciate you both, and we'll be right back. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Every time I visit my nieces and nephews, I come home with just a little scratch in my throat. I'm even more impressed when parents seem just not fazed by the colds or runny noses.
Do parents have a better immune system than people without kids? The short answer is no, but parenthood does have some health benefits. My sources today are UF Health Jacksonville's Director of Accreditation and Infection Prevention, Chad Nielsen, a Carnegie Mellon University study, and a study from the Babraham Institute.
The research indicates that parents of small kids, particularly under 6 years old, tend to be more sick than people who don't have kids.
Nielsen explains that kids are often sick with the common cold, rhinovirus or adenovirus, which you don't develop immunity to. It's all about good hygiene and safe practices to keep those germs from spreading.
Most kids under 6 have very weak immune systems because they're maturing and growing. They also don't necessarily have the best hand hygiene or respiratory cough etiquette, and so that inevitably passes on to the parents.
He says that cycle repeats every 2 to 3 months, whereas people who don't have kids usually aren't exposed to these viruses as often. One study done at Carnegie Mellon found that parents were 52% less likely to get a cold than non-parents. but they ended up attributing it to something more psychological. A 2016 Babraham Institute study found that being a parent seemed to rewire your immune system as much as the stomach flu does. But it did not find one immune system better than the other, just different.
Nielsen says for all the aunts and uncles and other visitors who get sick after being around the kiddos, step up your hygiene when you're around the little ones, and that will help protect you from the common colds they often have. With your Verify, I'm Leah Shields.
This February, love is in the air with a luxury included vacation to Sandals Dunn's River. Watch DBL every day for a word of the day. Then enter at dailyblastlive.com/sandals for your chance to win a 4-day, 3-night escape for 2 to beautiful Jamaica. The winner will be announced on DBL March 1st. Stop dreaming and start entering for your chance to win the trip of a lifetime.
At the beginning of each year, Social Security recipients get a cost of living adjustment. But Verify viewer Doug and several others reached out to us at verifythis.com to ask about rumors that the government is going to give recipients an additional $200 a month. So let's verify. Our sources are the Social Security Expansion Act and the Congressional Record. Last June, members of the House and Senate introduced the Social Security Expansion Act. This included, among other things, a plan to give people who get retirement, disability, and survivor benefits an extra $200 a month. We checked the Congressional Record and found the bill was referred to various committees, but never went anywhere and officially died at the start of this year. So, no, Social Security recipients are not getting an extra $200 per month. Senator Bernie Sanders, who sponsored the bill, reintroduced it earlier this week. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Today's Sandals word of the day is sand. Watch DBL every day for a word of the day. Then enter at dailyblastlive.com/sandals for your chance to win a 4-day, 3-night escape for 2 to beautiful Jamaica.
Sand. Welcome back. If you're looking to upgrade your bath without a massive remodel, we've got some ideas. We're talking about it in today's tips, sponsored by Jacuzzi. First, you can add texture to your space by making a shiplap wall. Jeff, you did this, didn't you?
Yes.
Next, bring nature indoors by putting greenery in your bath and get a spa-like feel by adding a wooden tray over your bath and fill it with candles and other luxury accessories. Jacuzzi can also help you do it the right way with a spa-like experience. Jacuzzi offers an unmatched, stress-free remodeling process, so visit jacuzzibathremodel.com or call 1-800-523-1523.
I want a shiplap wall.
That's cool. It's like the new thing.
Shiplap is just wood that you go over each other, but you got to be careful in the bathroom because you want to protect it from the water.
Oh. Yeah. All right.
Ship shape. Bye.